We'll bring in our panel for this segment. Grace Riley is here, an analyst with Restoration of America. And Tim Phillips is the Director of Government Affairs and Global Strategies with Nestpoint. Good to see you both. Grace, can I start with you? A lot to dissect here. We'll begin with the obvious remarks from the Congresswoman from Florida about how MAGA Republicans have declared war on people of color with the opening of facilities such as Alligator, Alcatraz. What are your thoughts on those remarks from the Congresswoman?
There's some audio issues on my end, so I cannot hear the program, but if the question was for me on Alligator Alcatraz, it's important to point out that prisons and detention centers are for people who have violated our laws, and there is no color of skin that is required to get in or out. We don't break the law, and you don't have anything to worry about. And it's important to note as well that Project Homecoming was signed in May to give illegal aliens the opportunity to self-deport to avoid all of this. So our laws and the consequences for breaking them are very clear. And Tom Homan made clear as well that this will not stop deportation efforts across the country. Homan explained that they follow every court order while they work to appeal them. And it's important to note as well that Governor Ron DeSantis and Byron Donalds built upon this and have expressed that it was not a surprise because of the way the activist judges have been ruling, though Donalds explained that the concrete pad that was repurposed for Alligator Alcatraz has been there since the 60s, expressing that this isn't harming the Everglades, and make no mistake about it. Funds have been allocated in the One Big Beautiful Bill to expand this and make sure that deportations continue.
Yeah, she's such a pro. Totally focused in on what we were looking for, that perspective, right? Because, Tim, you're dealing with a federal judge out of Florida who issued an order and cited environmental concerns about the project of Alligator Alcatraz. She alleges it creates irreparable harm in the form of habitat loss and increased mortality to endangered species in the area here. So, you know, is that something that Republicans might want to consider when thinking about location of detention facilities, or should they just go ahead as planned?
It almost makes me wonder, are the Democrats trying to lose? Are they just trying to lose? What a silly, specious argument. Americans are dialed in on having safer streets. The president's focusing on that with his effort to keep Washington, make Washington safe. And they want to end all of this illegal immigration. So the Democrats can do all of their posturing that they want. They're so woke and they're so out of touch with the concerns of Americans across this country. And they're in the wrong on the policy front, and they're a disaster politically.
Tim, if I could stick with you on here, let's pivot now to Vice President J.D. Vance, who has posed this question from NBC's Kristen Welker on Meet the Press. This was about Elon Musk and Vance's political future. Watch this.
The Wall Street Journal is reporting that Elon Musk is halting his plans to create a new political party, in part because he wants to support you for president in 2028. I know you've been asked about this. You said you have not discussed this with him.
That's right.
But do you see yourself as the apparent future of the MAGA movement?
No, I see myself as a vice president who's trying to do a good job for the American people, Kristen. And if I do a good job, and if the president continues to be successful, as I know that he will be, the politics will take care of itself. We can cross that bridge when we come to it.
Tim, your response to Vance's response, I mean, that was that's how you do it. You can tell he's been doing these interviews for quite some time and focusing on the job at hand. He answered that well. Your response to that, and maybe your thoughts on a potential Vance future as President Trump will be term limited.
J.D. Vance is doing an incredible job as vice president, and he handled that perfectly. You know, the way to be the leader of the MAGA movement and the position for the future is to help this president continue building policy victories and changing the culture in this country. That's how you do it. J.D. Vance is doing that, and the future will take care of itself. He handled that exactly right. And I tell you, if Republicans and the MAGA movement can stay united, and follow this president's lead on illegal immigration and crime and the economy and continuing to lower tax rates, the future will take care of itself. We'll have a long run of electoral success if we just stay focused on these policy victories and improving the culture in this country again.
Yeah, 2028 is still a ways away, so focusing in on the midterms is clearly a priority right now for Republicans. Tim Phillips, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts. Our appreciation to Grace Riley as well.